Good day, friends. Welcome to another installment of our health series. And today we are going to be talking about the E in exercise. I usually say health is wealth and movement is medicine. So we're going to talk about exercise, movement, the importance that it has in our lives and for our health. And I like this quote from a man called Dr. Roy J. Shepard that he made some years ago. He said, "You'd have to go a long way to find something as good as exercise as a fountain of youth." So I like this quote. This is a very easily available fountain of youth. For those of you who are looking for the fountain of youth out there, here's your answer. Exercise, movement is medicine is our title. And before we begin, let us start with a word of prayer. Our dear Father in heaven, we want to invite you right now to guide our minds and our hearts as we listen to this presentation. Be with me as I present it, Lord, so that the principles of health that you have given us may be given in a very easy to understand way, so that everyone who needs it may benefit. Give us the courage to begin habits that will help us to have good health. All these things I pray in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, so let us begin to look at how we can use this fountain of youth for our health benefits and also to help others who also need it as much as we do. Now, in the beginning, last week we started looking at the diet that God had given us in the Garden of Eden. And here's the beautiful thing that I find in the book of Genesis chapter 2 and verse 15. The Bible says the Lord God gave or took man and put him in the Garden of Eden to work it and to take care of it. So man was given the Garden of Eden in his perfection in Eden to actually work it and to take care of it. So this is very important for us to notice that before even sin entered into the picture, God had work for men to do. He designed men with muscles, with bones, with blood vessels, and all of these systems in the body in order for man to use them to work for his own benefit in many ways, but including physically. And you notice that in Genesis chapter 3, I believe it's verse 18, one of the things that God said would happen when man sinned is that they would eat from the sweat of their brow. So man was going to work. So after sin came in, now God actually brings an element of sweating in the work of producing food. And it was actually for man's benefit because God says, for your sake, you will have to eat from the sweat of your brow. So this is very important. We see that work was there in the Garden of Eden, and it was physical work because they had to actually work and take care of a garden. And anyone who has had a garden knows that it is hard work. I remember meeting one of my friends, and he had just moved into a farm and is doing a lot of farming there, farming cabbages and things like that. And this friend told me, he said, "My brother, being at a farm teaches you to work hard, to learn how to wake up early in the morning and how to sleep late in the evening because of work." So gardening is a lot of work, and this is the work that God had given to our first parents before sin came in. So we're going to look briefly at the main types of exercises. The first one that I want us to look at is aerobic or endurance exercises. And then we're going to look at range of motion exercises. And then thirdly, we're going to look at strength training. These are the type of exercises that we're going to look at, the main ones. And as we look at this, as we take a look at this presentation. So exercise is very important. Now, the first one we're going to be looking at is aerobic exercises. Aerobic exercises. Now, aerobic exercises are the type of exercises that increase the ability of our bodies to use the fuel and oxygen that we have. So aerobic exercises are good in that way. They include things like swimming, things like bicycle riding, things like jogging, power walking, and hiking. So these are more natural movement type of exercises that get our heart pumping in a fast rate, that get us to breathe rapidly, and they also are very good for the circulation of blood. So the body's cardiovascular system benefits through blood supply that increases to the muscles, and it also enhances the oxygen delivery to the body. So we get to have more blood supply to the different muscles and the different parts of our bodies. We also get to experience or get an enhanced oxygen supply to the body, to the different parts of the body, including the brain. Now, 30 minutes of sustained aerobic exercises can help lower blood pressure and strengthen the heart. This is only one of the benefits. So aerobic exercises are usually the best. I want to put it out there that aerobic exercises are usually the best, and walking is one of those aerobic exercises that are the best. Everyone, not everyone, but almost all of us are able to walk. There are some people, because of certain disabilities, who may not be able to walk, but the vast majority of us are able to walk. And so if you can walk, you can exercise. And walking is actually the best exercise. And it's the easiest to incorporate to our day. For example, a lot of us take public transport. A lot of us also have our own private vehicles that we drive. And therefore, because of that, we don't get a lot of exercise like our parents used to do back in the days. I remember when I was growing up in primary school, we used to walk from home to school and from school to home. It was a bit safer than it is, maybe a lot more safer than it is actually today. So we would walk as groups. And I remember sometimes we would be given money to take a taxi. And as children, we liked buying junk food. So we would save the transport money and would actually run to school and all of those things. But as we grow, we start despising walking. And it seems like riding in a car is more attractive. But it's more healthy for us, even when we do have cars, for example, not to park closest to the place, to the entrance of the mall, if we're at the mall, or to park our cars and just to leave them and walk around. You know, when you're in town, just leave your car somewhere and walk around to the different places. It's so nice that the smartphones that a lot of us have, maybe not all of us, but a lot of us have, even have a way to track how many steps that you have taken for that day. So you can have targets that maybe I want to take 2,000 steps, and then you increase it to 5,000, then to 10,000, and all of those things. So walking is a very easy aerobic exercise. But I usually say this. I usually say that you need to have walking that you do. If walking is your main exercise, do the walking as an exercise, not just as part of your daily program. You can do that as well on top of having maybe a specified time to do the walking. The reason why I'm saying that is because normally we don't walk enough to break a sweat, to breathe heavily and to get the heart pumping when we are walking to the mall, to the store and whatever, because we're not really exercising. We're just about our chores, unless you develop a habit of walking fast. So that's just something that I wanted to add to that. But there are other ways. Bicycle riding. Some of us can afford to buy bicycles, so you can actually ride a bike on the road. Make sure that you wear gear that is visible and that you stay safe. And also, some of us do jogging. All right. The Seventh-day Adventist Church is a Seventh-day Adventist church. We even have the Adventist Athletics Club that a lot of people they join. And I can tell you that a lot of people who joined that, they will tell you the experience that they've had in their improvement of their health in general and in their overall mood and happiness, and also the community and the friendship that they've been able to find in those environments. So that's another thing that is important, and we're going to talk about it later. The having a society and a group of people, a community of people that you actually exercise with helps a lot. All right, so that's all we're going to talk about in terms of aerobic exercise, but there's a lot that we could say about it. Swimming is excellent, very good for exercise, targets all the muscles of the body. And also, even if you do walking right, you will target all the muscles of the body. If you swing your arms, if you have your back straight, your chest open, and you breathe nicely and you swing your arms as you are doing the power walking, you'll really work a sweat and you'll really breathe hard. All right, so there are range of motion exercises, And most of these are actually the stretching exercises. Range of motion helps to keep the joints complete movement by a body part through its complex range of, supposed to be complete range of motion. So we are supposed to have a complete range of motion to be able to bend down and touch our toes and all of those things. So those exercises that help us to be able to do that, they help. And they also help to extend. An example of this is extending and moving one's arms in a wide circular motion. For example, when you go to the sides like this, and then you go like this, and you start making small circles, and then you can increase the circle. So this helps with the range of motion, for example, of the shoulder joints. All right. But other exercises as well target the muscles as well. They stretch the muscles in order to help the muscles to be ready maybe for exercise, or to help them cool down and to stretch out and to let out that lactic acid from the muscle, so that you don't have that soreness that you feel on the next day. So some degree of flexibility is required to perform range of motion. So you need to do stretching before, so that you don't strain yourself while you're stretching. And even when you're doing other exercises, you need to do some stretching before, and you don't want to take it too far at first, so that you can be able to stand the strain that it will bring to your muscles. So everything that has to do with exercise, including range of motion exercises, you need to take it slow at first and build based on the ability of your body. All right. So the next type of exercise that we want to look at is the strengthening exercises. A lot of men love these ones because they make them look nice and strong and muscular. And so these are the type of exercises that you do maybe at the gym, but you can also use your own body. So it helps your muscles' ability to contract and to do work. So this is what these exercises do. For example, when you do sit-ups, you actually help to strengthen your abdominal muscles. Now, this is very important, especially for people who speak in public, like pastors, preachers, motivational speakers, and on those kinds of people. Sometimes you don't have the benefit of a microphone and you need to project your voice. And as much as you use a lot of components and body parts when you are speaking, having strong abdominal muscles helps so that you can be able to project the voice even when you do not have a microphone. At one place, I was at a funeral at one point, and one of the mics that was going to be used there stopped working, and the preacher needed to actually project his voice, but he couldn't. So sometimes we need to use our voices and to project, and we need to have strong abdominal muscles in order to be able to do that. All right. So strong muscles are necessary for many other different reasons. All right. Now, strengthening exercises can be done using your body, as some people call them calisthenics. For example, things like push-ups, pull-ups, lunges, plyo split squats, and different types of exercises that you can do, and different kinds of these exercises that I just spoke about. You can actually do them without any weights, using your own body weight. All right. And actually, it's much better to use your own body weight in some instances, because your body is not, how can I say it? It's easy to regulate the amount of weight that you use, so that you don't strain yourself or injure yourself when you are training. And you also want to, you can also use weights as well. For example, you can use a bench press, a bench for doing bench press exercises for the chest. You can use the cables that they have at gyms in order for you to be able to exercise those muscles. But whatever you do, you can add strengthening exercises to your regimen. So what I would actually recommend is that when you are exercising, or when you're having an exercise program, of course, you want to start with the easiest and the most crucial, which is the aerobic exercises. And so you want to do that first. That's the best place to start because it gets your body used to exercising. And then the more you go, then you can start doing range of motion exercises, and then you can grow from there and add weight bearing exercises, whether it's body weight or whether you're using the weights that you find at a gym, or you can buy and stock up in your own house so that you have your own gym equipment. So you want to, but as you get used to your exercise, you want to incorporate an element of all of these because they all work to strengthen different parts of your body, and they do different things to your body. For example, for cardiovascular health, the best thing to do is to do aerobic exercises. All right. So for people that have diabetes, that have high blood pressure, for people who have issues of heart disease or any of the cardiovascular diseases, people who have suffered strokes, we would recommend them to do aerobic exercises, of course, first based on their ability and so that they don't strain themselves or injure themselves. But at the end of the day, aerobic exercises are very good for circulation. They're very good for the brain as well, because the more circulation you have, the better it is for your brain. But you also still need range of motion exercises so that you can be flexible, so that you can be able to use your muscle in the entire range of motion, in order for you to be flexible for doing different things. We need flexibility for different things. And you also need strength building exercises, because sometimes you need to do things that require strength, picking up boxes, for example. Working, when you're doing a lot of work, physical work, you need strong muscles to be able to carry those things that you may need to carry. So you want to have all of these in your mix, in your exercise regimen, but I would recommend that you start with aerobic exercises and you start easy. All right, we're going to talk about that. Now, what are the benefits of exercises? And we're not going to be exhaustive, but these are some of the examples of things that exercises helps with. All right, exercise will help us to feel good. It helps our body to release the hormones that give us that feel good effect. Those endorphins that are there to uplift our moods. So exercise helps us to feel good. So sometimes the things that people go to drugs, to alcohol, the feelings that they get from those things, you can easily get through exercise, and they are even more beneficial to your health. You won't have problems with your kidneys, with your lungs as a result of that. So it's a natural way to actually boost your mood. All right. So that's one of the things that it helps with. Another thing is that exercise helps to strengthen the heart, and it can help to prevent heart disease. And also, if you are trying to improve your health and you've had heart problems, of course, you want to do this under the guidance of a physician, of a qualified physician. But to strengthen your heart and to improve your heart health, if you've already started having health problems, you want to have a good exercise program. All right. Exercise helps to also lower blood pressure. Exercise helps to strengthen your blood vessels so that they can be more efficient in pumping blood, and it helps to put less pressure on the heart when you do these exercises. All right. And then it also helps to lower the LDL, which is usually called the bad cholesterol, and helps to raise the HDL, which is the cholesterol that is good, that is needed in our body processes. All right. So these are the benefits of exercise. Now, other benefits, there are still others. It also helps to manage your blood glucose. For people who have diabetes, if you start on a regular exercise program, it can help you to regulate your blood sugar. And so this is very good, a good benefit of exercise. Outdoor exercise also helps to lift depression, to lift your spirits if you're suffering from depression. One of the things that people like when they are suffering from depression, which makes their depression worse actually than better, is to lock themselves up in a room and have a dark room, and they don't want contact with people. There's no light, and the less sunlight that they get, the more depressed they will feel. The less oxygen that they get, the more depressed they will feel. The less pumping of blood that they get, the more depressed they will feel, because those feel-good hormones are not released as they are released when we are exposed to a good amount of oxygen, to sunlight, and also when we are getting our blood pumped. So it's very good for those who are suffering from depression. The sooner you can get into a good exercise program, the better it will be for your overall health, but also for your mental health as well. I'm not saying that it is a cure, but it is something that can aid in whatever, whether you're going for counseling or you're taking medication or any of those. I would leave those to people who treat clinical depression and all those things. But all I'm trying to point out right now is that exercise can be very helpful in your fight against depression. Exercise also helps to relieve anxiety and also stress. For example, if you are someone who is studying hard or you are working hard, some people will say, I'm studying, I don't have time for exercise. Actually, that's when you need exercise the most, because exercise will get your blood flowing. It will give you those feel-good hormones. By the time you go back to your studies, you'll be able to concentrate better. You have good oxygen supply to your brain. Even when you are at work, it will be good that instead of going for a tea break, when other people are going for a tea break, you can just go outside and do some stretches and do some breathing exercises and all of those things. That will help you when you are at work. All right. So exercise is very good for relieving anxiety and stress. It also increases overall energy and efficiency. So you tend to be more energetic when you are someone who exercises. You will notice that people who exercise, their movements, they look like they mean business. You know, people who are used to jogging, to running, to doing calisthenic exercises, doing exercises outside, they usually are people who look like they mean business when they're working. When they are talking, they talk with energy and with force. And when they do things, even when you see them walking at the mall, they're not just walking. Of course, there are times to stroll. I'm not saying that it is wrong to stroll, but when you can see that these people, they walk like they mean business, you know? So that is something that you can develop also when you are exercising. Now, it also helps those who need to lose weight and to maintain a desirable weight levels. And I'd like to say, especially to my fellow Black Africans, that we need to come out of this traditional thinking that we have, that when you blessed in terms of your weight and you are over blessed in terms of your weight, it is a sign of happiness. No, it is a sign of ill health, because weight, when you are overweight or obese, you are at risk of high blood pressure, you are at risk of strokes, you are at risk of diabetes, you are at higher risk of cancer and of developing many other ailments, strokes, and all of those things. So you want to keep a good weight and have a good BMI, which is lower than 25. BMI is body mass index. All right, so you want to maintain a good weight, and exercise is good to help with that. Exercise also improves the circulation of blood, as I said, improving mental clarity, and also helps you to have sound sleep at night, and also faster recovery in terms of when you have an injury or when you are sick. So exercise helps a lot with these things. These are the benefits of exercise, and I'm quite sure I've not exhausted them, but I just wanted to give you an idea of the benefits that you are missing out on when you are not in a good exercise program. Even for pregnant ladies, exercise is very good. Exercise is very good in lessening pain for ladies. Sometimes ladies have severe period pains, and when you start an exercise program, especially if you couple that with what we spoke about last week, which is having good, nutritious food, a whole foods, plant-based lifestyle, that can significantly reduce the severity of your period pains. And even for those who have exercised even through their pregnancy, you'll find that they had less complications when they were actually giving birth, due to a good, strong bodies, more flexibility, and more even tolerance for pain. when you are someone who exercises. So I want to encourage even our ladies to exercise. And even for men, this is an area that can be sensitive for men. But some men, when they get to their 40s or 50s, some even earlier, they can suffer from things like erectile dysfunction. And when you suffer from that, you don't really need a pill. You need to improve the area where the problem is, which is in the circulation of blood throughout the body. What we spoke about last week on diet helps a lot, because when you are eating a diet that is whole foods and plant-based, and that is also low on cholesterol, you help to clean out your arteries in order to allow for better flow of blood and circulation of blood. But also when you are on a good exercise program, like the last point we see there, it improves circulation. And when it improves circulation, it will also improve circulation in the area that you need it the most, for men who are suffering from erectile dysfunction. So if you have no other reason, men, to exercise, here's a good reason for you, and to keep that for long. I remember one gentleman was speaking, and he was saying that normally they say in your 60s and 70s, your flag does not rise anymore. And this man said when he started eating healthy and when he started exercising, then he started seeing an improvement even in the raising of the flag. And he said after some years of consistency, and this man was in his 70s when he said that, he said even then in his 70s, his flag could rise up. All right. Now, this exercise also helps with other laws of health. What do I mean? Number one, when you exercise, it helps you to get good amounts of air, especially when you go and you exercise outdoors. So even if you're someone who uses the gym, sometimes it's good to jog in the open air. Sometimes it's good to walk in the open air, especially in places like at the beach or places where there are woods. It's very good also to walk after rain. All of those help you to get negative ions, which are good for your brain, and as very high quality air. All right. It also helps us to get exposure to the sun, where we get vitamin D, and also helps to boost our immune system and help to strengthen our bones, and all of those good things that we get from sunlight. We're going to talk about sunlight and air in separate presentations. All right. But it also helps us to drink more water. When you exercise, you tend to drink more water. And also when you exercise, it helps you to rest well at night. And one of the things that I did not put up there is that normally, especially if you start and if you are at a gym, you don't have to go to the gym to know this. I'm going to tell you right now. But a fitness trainer, a good fitness trainer, if you get a fitness trainer at a gym, will tell you that you are almost wasting your time. Because for your body goals, you do 10% exercising and 90% what you do in the kitchen. There are some people, they jog and jog and jog and they jog and they jog. They can jog from here to Johannesburg, Cape Town. And that's an exaggeration, but you get the point. They jog, but they don't see a lot in terms of results. Or they will jog, they see results, and then they hit a plateau. They don't move from there. And one of the reasons is that they don't take care of their plate. So exercise will help you to actually start thinking more about what you put in your body, because you know that you exercise better, you have better endurance, you have better strength, and you can exercise for longer. And you actually see more results when you are on a good diet that is mainly formed of whole foods that are plant-based. All right. Now, what if I hate exercise? What should I do if I hate exercise? Well, let me share with you some few things to think about. What are other things that you don't really like doing or hate doing, but you do anyways? All right. Let me give you a few ideas of things. Things like cleaning the house. Most of us don't enjoy cleaning the house, but we do it. What about washing your car, for those of us who have cars? Polishing your shoes, going to work. Some of us don't even like going to work, waking up to go to work. But why do you do these things? You do them because of the motivation of the rewards that you get. You get a clean house. It's much nicer to be in a clean house. It feels like the air is fresher. Your body is more relaxed when you are in a clean house than when you are in a dirty house. So that is a good motivation. You get a clean car, It's almost like when you've washed your car, it's almost like it's a new car. And you can save on money if you wash it yourself and you don't take it to a car wash. And you like a new car, the fresh smell. When people come into your car and they say, "Man, this car smells nice," you have your chest out and you're proud. This is my car. And you also get paid for waking up in the morning and going to work, even though it doesn't feel good, even though sometimes you want to sleep in, even though you want to call in and lie and say you are sick. You do them because of the benefits. So even with exercise, you may feel lazy to do it. You may hate doing it, especially if you have not started. By the way, if people who hate exercise are those who have not been doing it, all right, or who have not been doing it long enough. But those who actually do exercise, they usually are the ones who are motivated to do more exercise, all right? So this is very important. Let us focus on the benefits at first. All right. Now, after a while, when the habit is established, it becomes part of your day. It becomes part of your daily routine. All right. So how can you start exercising? Number one, start with the easiest form of exercise and start small. All right. You can start by waking up in the morning and going for a walk. Go for a brisk walk. It doesn't have to be much. You can just do it for 5 or 10 minutes. Brisk walk, go out and then time yourself and then come back. Or maybe measure a distance and say, I'm going to do 2 kilometers. Let me assure you, 2 kilometers, actually even 1 kilometer is better than no kilometer at all. So start small, do it for a short space of time so that it's easier. You ease it into your daily routine and also so that you don't strain and you don't get injuries. Do it maybe at first 3 times a week. Then you increase it to 4 times, maybe 5 times, do a maximum of 6 times. To get a good benefit from exercise, have at least one rest day for the week so that you can give your muscles time to rest, all right? Of course, you'll still be active doing other things, all right? So this is very important for us to remember when we are exercising, all right? So start small and then build from there. Number 2, also remember your goals. Set your goals. And let me suggest, don't exercise for a season. Don't exercise for summer and say, I want a summer body. That is a very shallow reason to exercise. And most people who exercise for summer bodies, they will exercise before the summer and they will prepare for the summer. They have a nice looking body. And then in January, again, after the summer, they stop exercising because they're no longer going to the beach and everything. And they are unhealthy for the rest of the year. And there will come a point in your life where you will not really care much. I mean, your priorities will be set such that looking nice and having a 6-pack or a beach body will not be one of the most important things in your life. So when that motivation is gone, what are you going to do? So in order for you to have a more sustained, is think about the long-term benefits and also the short-term benefits in terms of your health, in terms of your ability to concentrate, in terms of your happy mood, in terms of all these things that we spoke about: strong muscles, flexibility, endurance, being able to do things, go through your day without feeling exhausted because you've done so much. All right. So these are good reasons. Find a good reason for you to exercise that will keep you exercising even when you do not want to. For me, my motivation is that my parents had lifestyle diseases, and someone said, there was a picture that I saw where it was said, someone was saying, I'm overweight because it runs in the family. And someone said, no, it's because no one runs in the family. So I started figuring out that the issue has less to do with the genes that I have than the lifestyle that my parents lived and my grandparents before them. And so I made a conscious decision that I am going to have a healthier lifestyle, and I'm going to do my best to make sure that I do what I can on my part so that I don't, as sad as it is, and I'm not saying it with a sad face, but I lost my parents, my mother when I was 12, my father when I was 14. Now, I've had to grow up most of my life without parents. I've lived long enough that the time I've lived without my parents is longer than the time that I lived with them. Now, saying this, I'm saying I know that how hard it is and how tough it is and how you go through milestones in life. I wish my mother was here. I wish my father was here. Of course, I mean, different things can kill people, but there are things that are in our power. So what I made a decision for is that I will do my best not to leave my children while they're still young and have them go through what I went through. You see, so I have made a decision that I want to see my children growing up. I want to see them graduate high school. I want to see them graduate university. I want to see them do great things for the Lord in whatever area that the Lord has called them to, whether they're going to be missionaries in a foreign country, whether they are going to be missionaries as doctors or nurses or teachers or engineers or whatever, there's so many things that they can do for God. But I want to see that happening. I would like to see my grandchildren as well, watch them grow. I wouldn't even mind seeing my great-grandchildren should Jesus' coming be delayed any longer. So I'm saying that and I don't want to, when I have grandchildren, I can't play with them. I can't chase them around. I want to be energetic when they come. If I am able, by God's grace, to reach 100, I should still be fresh, like that man in Loma Linda who could still drive his own car at the age of 102. All right. So that's what motivates me on a daily basis. But of course, the short-term benefits of having energy, of being able to study for longer periods of time than I was able to before because of the better mental clarity, the ability to deal with the stresses of life, being a minister and having my own family and all those stresses that come. And I'm able to manage those things better because I'm exercising. So this is a good motivation. So number one, start small. Number two, have a good reason. Maybe number two should be number one. Identify the reason why you are exercising and make sure that it is something that is long-term that will help you to sustain an exercise program. So that even if things happen and maybe you miss a week of exercise, you can have a motivation to go back. All right. Now, one more thing I want to say is that if you can exercise with people, find people that you can exercise with. People that when you don't want to wake up in the morning, they will call you and say, hey, we have an appointment to actually meet and jog 5 kilometers, jog 10 kilometers, walk 15 kilometers. Hey, join, for example, if you're someone who likes jogging, join an athletics club and run their 10-kilometer races, run their half marathons, run a marathon. You don't have to. It doesn't have to be that. But find friends, find neighbors, find people. It will also help us to go back to caring for one another, caring for our neighbors, caring for those around us. Because the more you exercise with people, the more you connect with them, the more you build relationships with them, and the more you can be there for one another. This is one of the things that we need in the life that we are living. Now, may God help you. May God strengthen you. May God motivate you to start an exercise program. Remember, health is wealth and movement is medicine. And remember that there is no better fountain of youth that you can find than exercise. So go drink of the fountain of youth. Get up, get on your walking shoes, walk, get on your running shoes, run, put on your exercise clothes, go to the gym. Put your exercise mat on the floor and start doing home exercise. You can go to YouTube. There's so many body weight exercises that you can do at home, even during the hardest lockdown. So there is no excuse at all. There are some people who are dedicated, their channels are dedicated to just helping you to know how to exercise better, whether it's when you are pregnant, when you are overweight, when you just want to tone your muscles, when you want to stretch better, and all of those things. There's so much information out there. So go. There are other ways of exercise that can be even beneficial in other ways. Go starting a garden, working in a garden. You'll grow food. You'll be able to eat with your family. You can share with your neighbors. Maybe you can sell the excess and have money. Do something. Spend less time in front of the TV. Spend less time on the couch and spend more time on the road in terms of your recreation. All right. And you can utilize your time in a very profitable way that will profit your body and that will profit your health, and that may even be a good thing for your children and for your grandchildren who would like to see you for longer. And for those of us who are younger, the earlier we build the habits, the better it will be for us for the rest of our lives. God bless you. May God help us as we begin and as we push with these health principles. Let us pray. Our Father, who art in heaven, thank you so much for giving us these bodies and the ability to move them. Help us to use them and exercise so that we can strengthen these bodies, so that we can serve you for as long as we can on this earth. Yes, Lord, there are many things that can bring death to us, but may we not help death to come to us by not practicing the good health habits that we can in order to keep ourselves healthy. Give us motivation, give us strength. Even when we are discouraged, help us to dust ourselves up, to get up, and to continue to exercise. Thank you. We ask all these things in Jesus' name. Amen.